Hello everyone and welcome to the Tetra31 YouTube channel. I am your host, NeoTetra, and today I am doing an update video on my Unity racing game that I have dubbed Racing 31. So the first thing that I want to address is the level, and that has changed every single update video I have done. But I'm pretty happy with this one so far. It still needs a bit of work doing on it, and it's starting to look a lot more like the finished product. And the second thing I want to address is the yellow monstrosity in front of you here. This is the Pushima H20S. It is a propane-powered 4-cylinder forklift that makes 21 horsepower and 80 newton meters of torque. That is put down through a 2-speed gearbox to the front wheels. It has a top speed of about 30 miles an hour, which is probably a bit unrealistic, but hey, it's a racing game, so what the heck. And if you're wondering, well, why would you want to drive a forklift at 30 miles an hour in a racing game? Well, this is its stock form. And this is it with a wide body kit and a fully upgraded engine. It makes 346 horsepower. It has all-wheel drive, all-wheel steering, and will do a top speed of 150 miles an hour. As you can see, it's quite a handful to drive, particularly on these roads. A short wheelbase and a mid-engine configuration normally results in quite twitchy handling, and this takes it to a whole new level with the all-wheel steering. In a second I will show you what it's like to drive on a wide racetrack, but for now I'll let you get an idea of how it handles these narrow, tight roads. And also crash into a lamppost. So in terms of driving this thing, it's a lot of pressing down on the brake before you release the accelerator, and pressing down on the accelerator before you release the brake. It helps keep the weight stable and stops it from wanting to spin. It's kind of how I drive a Porsche in a racing game like Forza. In this clip you're seeing here, I hadn't really learnt that yet, and we're still sort of driving it as I drive every other car. So I think over this crest here I do nearly spin it. Now granted, it's definitely not going to be the most stable on the downhill, so as you can see there, I nearly spun it out. I think we'll move over onto the racetrack now, and I'll show you how it handles a wide circuit. So this is just my test track. This is actually where I set the vehicle up, so it's gonna handle this a bit better than it handles the other roads. I think it's a bit low and a bit too stiff for that. I think it is probably bottoming out here and there. So I'll probably only show you the first few corners. As you can see, just coming around this one. Yeah, like I say, it does handle this a lot better than the tight roads. And like I said, this is just my test track. This is not actually going to be in the finished game. It's just where I'm setting the cars up for now. I'll show you how it handles this hairpin, and then we will move on to the next vehicle. This is the Rayco Type 1, and as you can see, it is a hovercraft. This thing accelerates with 20,000 Newton meters of force. On playtesting, I managed to get this thing up to nearly 500 miles an hour. This uses a completely different system to my cars. My cars use the built-in wheel colliders, and this is using a brake-cast suspension, giving it a completely different feel to the cars. As you could probably see back there at the bridge, the way that the rear end swung out, that's because I pressed the handbrake, or the e-brake for you Americans, and that allows the rear end of the car or ship to slide around. Again, I'll just let it run on this road to give you a good idea of how it handles a tight, narrow track, and then I will move on to the racetrack. So this thing is quite a challenge to drive on these roads, particularly as it's so wide it takes most of it up. As you can see here, I'm going completely wide around that corner and struggling to get it back on the road and get it to turn that tight. It's also quite difficult not just to push the accelerator all the way in and have it go blasting off at 1,000,000 miles an hour, which is something that I am briefly allowed to do up this bridge here. And again right here, as you'll see, is the bottom of this hill. You are actually able to get this thing off the ground. There, it does a little bunny hop. So yeah, it is not completely stuck to the ground. And we might as well finish this clip off with a crash. There we go. So back at the test track, and I'll do the same again and just show you how this thing navigates the first 3 corners. Again, here you get a good idea of how quickly it accelerates. I think this is the hairpin here, and I completely missed the apex and have to use the handbrake to bring it back in. And I would show you how quickly it accelerates down this back straight, but I think I ditched it into the wall. Yep. There we go. So I lost all of my speed there. But as you can see, already back up to 200 miles an hour. And big crash to end it. So, to round out the video, I figured I'd show you how a regular car handles these roads. This is the Terrena Primoz GT. And I'll let this clip play while I say thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, please smash the like button. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the comment section below. And if this looks like a project that you'd be interested in following, please subscribe to my channel. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.